Hello. Ooh, uh, Child, got braids going in every different direction. Anyway, thank you for joining me on day 32 of my soul care challenge. Um, it's been a long day, but a productive one. And my soul care activity actually today was listening to my favorite podcast. On my way home, and I couldn't go live with you guys then as I was listening to it because I was driving and couldn't do the whole hands free thing. But just reflecting on what I was listening to, the podcast I was listening to is Black Girl Om, and I really look to them for inspiration. It's a podcast that dedicated to women of color and our wellness and our healing and wellness for communities of color. And um, today, the discussion, I actually went through a couple of episodes, but what resonated most for me was just about they made a comment about being woke and well. And I think that's like my new catchphrase right now because I'm always working through what it means to both be in tune with and aware of what is happening and where we are in this really difficult and challenging political climate and navigating that as a woman of color, and then also just creating space for myself to be able to heal and to also tap into my own personal joy and liberation and celebrate what it is to be Black and woman as well. And so then it made me think of the quote by James Baldwin, who said, to be Negro in this country and relatively conscious is like being angry all of the time. And so that was something that was coming up in the podcast around just, can we also embrace and celebrate in addition to being upset and angry at the fact that we live in such unjust times as Black people, and how do we do that? And to put a finer point on it, they were talking just about Black expression and, feeling like often um, we are sort of put into these categories that are that reinforce sort of typical traditional Black tropes that don't offer new necessarily ideas of Afro surrealism. And when they were talking about it from the perspective of art, and I thought that was really interesting. And I know that there is an entire movement in culture based on Afrofuturism, which is incredibly fascinating and intriguing to me. So anyway, I'm working my way through that and recognizing that in the middle of it all, healing needs to happen for myself. And what does that look like? And, using that as guiding posts for how I move through and through my own journey of self-care and figuring out what healing looks like for me. So yeah, I was just inspired by that today, and definitely want to continue to think on that over the next few days and figure out again what Black joy cultivation in my own life looks like and how that fits into my whole my idea around what healing can be. So anyway, that is my soul care activity for the day. And thank you for listening. And hopefully that you're still on your personal journey. And I will see you tomorrow for day 32 of my soul care challenge.